Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the screencast for October 18th. I hope all of you are enjoying some well-deserved time off over this long weekend. Hey, planned for next week, we have a staff meeting on Wednesday that will be focused on de-escalation strategies. I know all of us know about that, but I think it's always good to have a review on that. And we have retake pictures. I'll be partaking in that on Tuesday. We also have a rally on Friday at 10 o'clock. You'll also notice on the other side there, we have a lockdown plan for this week too. Conferences, I want to thank all of you for all of your efforts to connect with our families around our kids. That conferences went really well. I'll be asking, like I have previously, for the number of conferences you had, just because we like to keep track of that. Once again, I hope you enjoy your time off. I know I did. This picture has nothing to do with conferences, but picture up the North Shore, just thought I'd share it with everyone. Fire drill, just want to touch on that a bit. Each year we need to do 2 enhanced drills. They could be fire drills, they could be lockdowns. We did one at our last one, which was by blocking a 5th grade door, kind of simulating having to find a different exit. Just a couple reminders. One, if we have a fire drill and you're on prep, once you get safely outside, go to your class. You as a teacher know your students best, so get outside safely and then get around to your class. If you are a staff person that has a walkie, please make sure that you bring that outside with you. We always start with our center-based programs first, because some of our students could be in their center-based home, or they could be in their regular classroom. So I know that makes things a little bit tricky. We'll continue to make these go smoother. Just want to give you those couple of reminders. Hey, we need to welcome some new staff. Renee Arrowood will be replacing Dave Beatty. She was in our building a little bit last week. Welcome, Renee. And Dave, we will miss you as you move on, but congratulations on your move up to the high school. We also have Abdurrahman Ali. He goes by Ali. He is from the Office of Educational Equity, and he will be at our building on Mondays and Tuesdays. He helped out with a few conferences last week. Excited to be working with both of these people. Take a while for them to get to know all of us, so if you see them in our building, please make sure that you introduce yourself and make them feel welcome. Literacy walkthrough, we have that again on Tuesday. Once again, we'll be doing that 2 times per year. Why are we doing that? It gives us a snapshot of literacy both in our building and across the district. Helps determine staff development district-wide and in our building. We'll be using the same form that we've used previous years. I included a link in case you're interested in looking at that. So what do you have to do differently? Nothing. Go about your literacy like you normally would. We're through MEA, so we should be at the point where we're getting into our guided reading groups. That should be happening now. So just know that we'll be coming in on Tuesday. Also, we'll be doing something similar with math. On November 13th, we'll be doing basically a math walkthrough also. So just be aware of that. If you have any questions on that, let me know. Personalized learning spaces opportunity. Part of the last referendum that was passed in the safety and technology levy was the idea of changing some of our learning spaces. The idea is to change a physical space to support personalized student learning. There's a number of examples that have already taken place. Some of you might know about Ridgeview and Poplar Bridge, where they have some classrooms with a glass separator / door that can open or shut depending on what's the need of that space. There's also some breakout spaces at Ridgeview. So what does that mean? There's a few of us, few schools, Westwood, Oak Grove, Indian Mounds, and Valley View Elementary, that have the opportunity to look at one of our learning spaces and to redesign that a bit. Could be connecting to classrooms, could be looking at a common space and making it more user-friendly and fit. So just be aware that we're starting to head that way, starting to look at that. I know that when something like this happens, the first thing I think of, boy, could we use that money and use that for more resources in a different way, more staff within our building. Unfortunately, we can't, because this money is tied directly to the safety and technology levy. But at the same time, it's an opportunity to look at our learning spaces and think about doing something different. There's a pretty tight timeline. This needs to be accomplished by the summer. So on Monday, one of the people connected with the company that will be doing the renovation is going to come and walk the building with me and help me think about some different things with myself and with Kathy Caro too. So if you have some ideas, if you have some thoughts on this, share them with me. I'll be sure to keep you updated on this as we move forward. Hey, field trips, just a couple reminders. If you are going on a field trip, please make sure that you put that on the calendar. If you're not going to be in the cafeteria during lunchtime, please let Lisa know at least 2 weeks in advance. She has to order food, and that makes it a lot better for her if we know that. And just as a reminder, generally we avoid switching lunch and prep times during field trips, but occasionally it does happen. I can give you a couple examples. Testing, when we had testing this fall, we did do some switching of prep times. Thank you, kindergarten, for being willing to do that. I know that affected you. Last year we also did some hiring when we were We did some switching when we were hiring for 4th grade, and we wanted to use that last prep. So there are occasions where we do that. We really try to avoid that. But if you feel that there is a reason why that needs to happen, if you think there might be a possibility, please talk to me about that at least 2 weeks in advance. Why talk to me? Because it's easier for me to connect with the different people that would be involved and make sure that it works. So generally we try to avoid switching preps. If you think there's a possibility where that needs to happen, talk to me at least 2 weeks in advance and we can at least look at that. Fall parties. Hey, we have our fall parties coming up here, and talked a little bit about this with our BLT, our leadership team at Westwood, and wanted to throw a few things out there. We talked about, do we continue doing costumes? Is that something that we want to do? Here's some things that we considered. We know that not all of our families participate in Halloween. We also know it's been a tradition at Westwood in some form for quite a long time. I also know that a lot of schools, elementary schools in Bloomington, are no longer doing costumes. We also know that we need to follow our healthy foods guidelines. And so where are we at? How are we going to navigate this? One, if you as a grade level choose to have costumes, let's do that this year. We might move away from that at some point, but if you choose to have costumes at fall parties, that's okay. However, some grades may choose not to. I believe 4th and maybe 5th are not. But also know that you need to make sure that the costumes are appropriate and that they're only on for the party. So no violence or weapons or culturally insensitive things. But also throw out some alternatives for our kids who might not choose to do costumes. Maybe it's, wear your school colors that day, wear comfy clothes. Give them some alternatives so that they can feel part of this too. And just as we just know that we are not going to be doing a parade this year with our younger grades. I know we've done that in the past. So I'm really trying to balance our traditions also with making all of our kids feel welcome at our school. No matter what we do with costumes, though, we know that if people want to celebrate Halloween, they will be doing that outside of school. But we also want to make sure that we're balancing all of that together. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions on that. And finally, that is it. Have a great rest of the weekend and look forward to seeing you all on Monday. And engines set to go, batteries recharged. Thanks for all of your hard work. Let's do it again on Monday. Take care.